Hey everybody, this is another episode of TJ's Garage. Today we're doing something a little different. Decided to take on this 25 horsepower Mercury 2-stroke outboard. Remember when you guys are starting your motors, they got to have coolant, okay? Cooling system somehow. Water has got to go through the head and come out somewhere. So this guy noticed that they call this the piss tube. There was no water coming out through here, okay? Some of the newer boats, the water comes in down here where you pick up screens, and sometimes it goes out to your propeller. This is an older model, it's a 1998, so the water comes in, circulates through the head, and it's supposed to come out the piss tube here, okay? It wasn't coming out. So we decided to do the water pump, which is very simple. Believe me, it's a simple job. There's a guy that does a great job making a video on YouTube on how to replace the water pump and the wear plate. And basically, this is the water pump and the wear plate, okay, right here. There's an impeller, there's a housing, and there's a wear plate. Clearly, this impeller is supposed to look like this, and it's supposed to look like a star with this keyway sitting right here holding it on the spline of the shaft. Clearly it wasn't working. If you look on Amazon, you can buy this kit for, it's pretty cheap, it's like 50 bucks. Anyway, if this does happen to you and you decide to take this on yourself, it's a very simple process. Watch this guy's video. He'll show you how to drop the lower. And if you come over here, he tells you to take out the starter, which is true. You take off this plate, which houses the fuel filter and the pull start, pull it down, and you don't have to loosen anything else except taking the two starter bolts out, which are 10 millimeter. Okay, once you take these out, there's a clip inside behind the starter that has to do with the shift rod. Look at his video. It's very simple, but all you really have to do is take the starter off, pull that clip out, and then drop your lower, which is a matter of down here, there's 4 bolts. Okay, I'm kind of skipping around because I'm just basically giving you an idea of what's going on here. 2 here and 2 here. Okay, the lower comes out, you're set. The problem with this motor was the coolant. Okay, we put a new propeller in, or impeller, coolant fan, put a new wear plate in, and as soon as we started up, there was water coming outside of the water jackets that cools the head. Okay. So here's what you're looking at here. Water comes through here, through the thermostat, which sits here. Comes out the P-tube. Okay? This gasket was worn. Hopefully the head's not blown. The motor ran, but it wasn't cooling. So as soon as we got a functioning impeller to draw the water through, the motor was running. Unfortunately, water was coming out all over the valve cover. So we have to buy a new gasket, which is like 8 bucks, a new thermostat, which is like 50 bucks. So once we put this on, put the thermostat back on with the housing, it should work fine. Okay? So don't be afraid to take this on. This is very simple. It's just a matter of a few gaskets and a few bolts. Just be aware of the length of the bolts. 2 of them will be a different length than the other ones. Obviously, the ones that house the thermostat will be longer. But basically, if your motor is not cooling and you do not see water coming out somewhere on the older motors, you have a problem. If it's an old motor with 2-cycle, remember that stuff gels up inside your carburetor. If your carburetor's never been rebuilt, rebuild it. This one is running now perfectly because we rebuilt the carb, but unfortunately we had a coolant problem, which is where the fuel pump, or the water pump came in. Like I said, it's inside here, inside your lower. But there is a video on this. It's very simple. Unfortunately, once we got done doing that, the head leaked. So we went online, got the gasket. This should solve the problem. Everything's good. It's a very simple job. You should be able to do this by yourself. That's it. Thanks.